the day that he tried to take, my life was the day that I decided, like, man, this, for us to live at peace, one of us has to die. One of us has to go. We can't coexist here no more. And I shot, I just shot, bam. In my head and in my mind at the time, it's like, I got him, I got him, he's done. I no longer have to worry about him. The passenger side window shatters, and next thing you know, I'm just getting pulled out of the car. That's when it was all over with, That's when I knew, I was gonna do some time. Going into an adult prison, you have to, I guess, kind of prove yourself a little, I continued to live the life that I did out here, And there's gangs. I followed right in line. My grandma would always cry for me on the phone, and I got to thinking, like, if I was a parent, it's like, how would I feel if my baby was in there fighting grown men? It was on one of my last trips to segregation that I actually began to think, a little bit about, maybe coming home. The next time the homies were like, hey man, this needs to be handled. I'm sure they expected me to jump up and be like, I got it, But I didn't. And the guy that ran everything kind of was like, hey man, let me talk to you real quick. So we go talking, we go walk in the yard again, and he's like, what's up, man? What's going on? And I pretty much let him know right then and there, like, hey man, I don't have it in me no more, man. I want to go home, And he's like, well, that there's, there's consequences to this. I've had my nose broke, I've got a broke rib, I have a couple, chipped teeth in my mouth, Got me pretty good, man. So here I am working on cars, and I got good at it. And it's not only just regular everyday cars that you see now, there was also classic cars. That's my passion in life right there, is classic cars. I love them.
Nico's car, it's been in the family. He got it when he was 16. I was 17 at the time, and I remember he called me up, and I was in my 66 Pontiac. I was rolling up on 10th, and he didn't see me. He fell in love with the car also, and so just when he went away and all that, I had to take care of it. So each time I would see the car, it reminded me, I think of my brother, so it was just a dream to just be out here cruising like this.
Dream, dream, dreamer, you gotta take a bit deeper. Dream, dream, dreamer, dream, dream, dreamer.
I finally make it out, and here I am on the bus and traveling up here to Denver. My grandmother was there, so I was happy about that. And they bring me down here, to Greeley, and they, bring me into the parole office and everything, and I do what I got to do there. And so, I'm sitting here thinking like, oh man, I got to start applying for jobs. I got to start, making something happen. I got to do something. There's this guy sitting in there with me, and he's just like, hey man, you looking for a job? These guys are legit, and he gave me a Jobs of Hope card. So, here I am, and I'm out there, I'm looking and applying for jobs at here and there and everywhere, and nothing. So I get an odd job with this guy named Brett Reese, and he takes me to this church, and I go to the church, and the pastor there's like, hey man, you know what? I know somebody that will be able to help you. It would just be perfect, I'm like, well, who is he? Or what's up? He's like, it's this guy named Von A. Man, he runs Jobs of Hope. And I was like, Jobs of Hope, man. I was like, dang. I was like, that's the second time I've heard about that place, man. I was like, what? I'll check it out. And so I call him, and he answers my phone call, and he's like, hey man, come on down. We'll set up an interview with you, see if you're a good candidate for the program, man, and we'll get you going. He asked me a question, a question that I'd never really been asked in my life. Where are you at now? and where do you want to be in life? And I was like, well, dang, I don't know. I was like, I just want a job, And he's like, no. He's like, well, tell me that, answer those questions for me. And so, I go through the program, and I'm doing odd jobs and everything, and I graduate, still no jobs. I told Vanna, hey man, you know what? I was like, I just want to work on cars, man. I was like, let's just get me in somewhere where I can work on cars. I was like, I know how to do oil changes, I know how to do, tires, I know how to do all that stuff, man. He's like, all right. He's like, we'll target all kinds of places like that next. One of the places we come to is, Wild County. So we walk in the front door up by sales. And anybody that's been here to Wild County, man, it's grand. To me, it's grand. When you walk in here, it's huge, and everything's just like so nice. And all I could think to myself was, yeah, right. This is the last place I'll probably get hired on at. Like, I literally got to show him where I've been, what I've done, who I was, and where I'm trying to go. He was like, you know what? You fit perfect here. I started off as a porter. I made Lube Tech about a month ago. One day I'm building my car. I'm at the parts store, and this guy comes up behind me, and all I hear is, hey, homie. And I'm like, I kind of stop, like, oh, here it comes. So that's my primo you shot. That's my cousin. And I was like, well, hey, man, if you can, man, just let your cousin know that I'm real sorry for what had happened, I didn't have no right to do that to him, And he was like, nah, homie, he ain't gonna listen to that. He's hard-headed. He ain't gonna hear that. And he takes off. And I asked Vanna that, what do I do? And Vanna tells me, extend your hand and walk towards him. So I get to Victory Outreach and I go in and I tell Pastor Rob, I'm like, hey man, look, this is what's going down. The guy that I shot, I'm on Facebook with him right now, messaging him. What do I tell him? And Robert tells me, hold up, man. He's like, calm down. He's like, I'm gonna tell you something. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they are the son of God. And I was like, all right, cool, but how does that help me right now? And he was like, all right, well, tell him this, back in the day, this happened. It led me to 8 years in prison. I'm sorry, man, I want to put this behind us. And, we laid it down real nice on the message. And all the guy said is, call me, here's my number. And boom, finally he answered. I talked to him, I was like, hey man, this is Nico. And he's like, oh, you're the fool that got me, huh? And I was like, hey man, look, I want to put this behind us, man. And he's like, hey homie, he's like, it's pretty hard to forgive somebody that's trying to smoke you. I was like, I had no right to do that to you. And, I was like, I'm sorry for it, He's like, I had to have surgery on my leg. And he was in, I've been paying hospital bills the whole time you've been away. And he's like, I got one payment left. If you make the payment for me, we're good. I'm like, well, hey, check it out. I get paid on Friday, man. Come Friday, I hit him up, hey man, what's up? I just got paid, homie. How do you want me to send this money? Nah, homie, I want to meet you. That right there was, man, my heart dropped. Boom. So I get there, and I see him roll up. I get off the car. I'm about ready to slam the door, and the only thing I could think about is Rob saying, blessed are the peacemakers, for they are the son of God. And, here we are, face to face. I said, I don't know, I've never asked anybody for forgiveness. I was like, but I'm here asking you, And I was like, and it takes a big man to ask for forgiveness. I was like, but it takes an even bigger man to forgive. He extended his hand to me. He's like, hey, well, he goes, if you're ever, around, man, and you need help with your car, let me know. And I'll help you out. And I was like, for real, man? I was like, likewise, homie. I was like, if you ever need help, let me know. I was like, I'll be there in a heartbeat to help you out. He goes, well, we're friends on Facebook. I was like, I'm only a message away, We shook hands and that was it. The relief from that was I don't know how to explain it, man. Now I almost feel like I can overcome any mountain, I guess,
Dream, dreamer, you gotta take a take it a bit deeper. Dream, dream, dream.